Hello everyone and welcome to the BoldChess show. I'm your host Roland, and in this video I will be taking on the Stockfish chess engine at level 4 on chess.org, playing with the black pieces and using the Caro-Kann Defense opening. This is the fourth installment in our series on how to defeat Stockfish levels 1 to 6 as black. To ensure a consistent and educational experience, I'll be using the Caro-Kann Defense in each video throughout the series. Be sure to watch the entire playlist and visit our website at boldchess.com, where you'll find a step-by-step proven academy for chess improvement. Our program covers everything you need to excel in chess, including openings, endgames, tactics, puzzles, study plans, and much more. Now let's dive into the challenge. Very well, here we are at the board against Stockfish level 4. Stockfish played d4. We're going to start in the exact same way with c6. This is a queen-pawn opening, which may transpose to the Caro-Kann defense. We have yet to see. I will continue normally, like how we always do with the Caro-Kann defense. c6 followed by d5. Then I will play normal moves to develop my knights and my bishops, and possibly I need to castle kingside as soon as possible. So start with the knight. And then we will give some space for our bishop. He's now attacking our knight. But since our knight is defended by the pawn and the queen, we don't need to move it. It's pinned though to our queen. So one way is we can move our queen to b6, which is a very common idea in the Caro-Kann defense, or in this case in the queen pawn opening, in order to remove this pin. We can also challenge the bishop at h6. These are two very popular ideas in these lines. They're all mostly theory. I do like to remove this pin by moving my queen. So he moved his knight to d2, leaving this pawn unattended. I'm not sure why he left it like so. I don't think this was an accurate move. Possibly I was expecting something like a queen to c2, queen to c1, I mean, to protect the pawn at b2. But in this case, he decided to leave his pawn hanging. I'm going to grab this pawn, since I don't see any tactic that would prevent me from capturing the pawn. Very well, so he is trying to attack our queen, but that in turn, he left his pawn unattended at a2, which is weird. He should have not moved his rook to b1. So I'm going simply to capture the pawn. As you can see, against level 4, as long as you are paying attention to the board and not dropping your pieces and just scanning for basic tactics, you should be able to do very well. So he captured our knight. The only way around this is we have to capture back. There is no other move. And now I will continue our development. I will move. I'm thinking about some potential moves. Bishop to g7 is one idea. Moving the queen away is another idea. We can also move the bishop. There's lots of movements here you can go about. I'm also thinking about e5, but It's currently attacked by two pieces. It might not be the best move. I will lose a pawn here. I will need to prepare for this movement. I can't just directly go and do it. There is also the bishop to d7, but then that will block the path for my knight. Possibly the knight would be a good starting point, which will also eye on the square at e5. He's currently attacking our queen. So we will need to move it to safety. The only possible move that we have, because all these squares are under attack, along with this file. So I can only move it to b2. And now in this position, we have a number of movements. I'm thinking about these two, checking which one, trying to calculate which one would be more appealing. Trying to calculate the lines. I would like to play c5, but I prefer to prepare a bit for it. I will go with b6 first. And then my plan is to play c5 at some point. So attacking our queen again, we have to move it to safety. There's no other way. And now this pawn is doing nothing here. I'm not sensing any threats. I can just continue my development. I will start by activating this bishop. He did not castle kingside here, which is a strange move, moving the king to f1. So in this case, these are on the same diagonal now, so I can simply move my bishop and it challenge this diagonal and forcing an exchange. He did not exchange my bishop. He did not capture it, which is something I did not expect. He decided instead to attack my queen again. But I will capture his bishop anyway with a check. His bishop is more active than my bishop. My bishop is almost dead here. It was doing nothing. So taking the bad bishop out, exchanging it with the good bishop is always a good idea. He took with the pawn. Taking with the rook is not possible because of my queen. He has to keep his rook defended by his queen. And now my queen is under attack. It's hanging. I have to move it to safety. There are a number of squares. I'm going to move it back since it's not doing anything here at the moment. Very well, he is attacking our pawn. You need always to see when your opponent moves, what is his idea. And always when you find your pieces undefended, then you will need to do something about it to bring them to safety. I will just push this pawn forward. This was our original idea by pushing the pawn to b6. He captured. I will capture back with the pawn. He moved his queen to a4, pinning my knight to the king. Very well. But since my king can do a castle kingside here, although this file is currently open, my king should generally be safe on this square. I can slide it to h8 at some point if we get a check, and it should be okay. So I moved his queen back. And now I will start, since this is a passed pawn, it's a very good idea to push it forward. Let's start with that. I'm not seeing any threats here. He might slide his rook to g3, but then I can put my king at h8, which is totally fine. I will just continue moving forward with the pawn. Eventually, this pawn will add lots of pressure on the queen side. And now he is attacking my pawn at c5. My pawn is protected at the moment by the knight and the queen. Still, losing this pawn is not advisable in this position. I would like to keep it to control the center, so I'll just push it one square ahead. That will make me control the d3 square and the b3 square. And since this chain of pawns is very well protected at the moment, so we are enjoying a good position overall. So he moved his knight to e1. Let's see what is he trying to do. He might be interested to put his knight at c2 and I on the square at a3. What else? We can push the pawn forward, that's for sure. We can slide our rook as well to b8 to control this file, which is also a good idea. I would like to go with this idea for now. I will take control of this open file. Very well. He's attacking my pawn. My pawn is protected, and there is no discovered attack on my queen at the moment. So I can just ignore this whole thing and keep pushing my pawn forward, which he needs now to start addressing the threats here. This pawn will add more and more pressure on the queen side. And pushing the pawn forward as well is it still possible? He will need to slide his queen at some point and attack it in two pieces. But then my queen can join the game. I can also move my queen to b4 before I push my pawn. Another idea. What else can we do in this position? We can also try to move our pawn to f5. So that will threaten his pawn at e4. And if he captured with it, then it's totally fine. We can still have a very good position, and our queen will be eyeing on the king side. This is also another interesting idea. I will start with this one. And then I will capture back with the pawn. Now my rook is controlling this file and my queen is adding more pressure. So he blocked the path to my pawn, but that is not going to prevent me from continuing my attacks. We have a number of options here. Since our rook is controlling this file, we can simply push our rook forward and attack his rook. He has now to exchange, I believe. Otherwise, yeah, he can deliver a check as well. So in this case, I will just slide my king to h8 as we have discussed. This is one potential continuation. He decided to attack my pawn and sacrifice his rook. This pawn was protected by 2 pieces, so I can simply capture back. And he cannot capture me because my rook is protected by the queen. Very well, he is attacking the rook now. What are the potential candidate moves here? We cannot, of course, it would be nice if we can move the rook to a1, but that's not possible because the queen and the knight are eyeing on this square. Doubling the rook on this file can be an idea, but since I'm currently up in material, I would like to simplify the position and start exchanging pieces. This is the simplest way to convert my advantage. I don't need to go over complicated lines, and this will also destroy his pawn structure completely. These double pawns and isolated islands are major weaknesses. In addition to the material advantage that we're having, we should be able to convert this position very well. Now we need to think of our next move. We will continue with our plan of simplifying the position as much as possible. And since our bishop is not doing much here, we can exchange it with his knight. And after he captures back, we need now to continue adding pressure. We are clearly up in material. So we can start, we need to bring our queen to the game, of course. I'm thinking of some options, what we can do, where our queen can be positioned, see if our knight, we can do anything with our knight as well. F6 can be a candidate move as well. We can also deliver a check here. I'm going to start with the knight first. Since it has been inactive for quite some time, it's always nice to activate the pieces. He's attacking my rook. Now I can simply deliver a quick check here. And he moved his queen to e1. What would be the best move here in this position? I think he should have moved his king, but then my rook, and because my queen is controlling this file and my rook is very dangerous, so he decided to give up his queen. I think the most accurate move is to block with the knight, though. I'm surprised at how he chose the queen to do that. So in this case, I will just capture his queen. It's a very easy position. He captured back, of course, he has to. And now I just need to to continue adding pressure and finish the game. I'll start with my queen to b4. The idea is to add more pressure with this passed pawn. Move my pawn forward. I will capture his pawn at d4. He's currently attacking my queen. I can simply put my queen at e4 with a check while eyeing on this square at c2. I'll move my pawn to c2, threatening another queen. He gave up his knight. I will gladly take it. And now I'll get my second queen. Move my queen to e1, and then we should be able to checkmate the king very soon by moving our queen again to e3. Very well, so let's see the key moments of this game, see what went wrong, what are the key movements. Stockfish here is recommending the queen to b6 as early as move 2. I decided to go with c6 and d5. And here Stockfish is recommending the knight first for white to d2. But then he decided to pin my bishop instead. All of these are pretty much natural movements, very normal movements. Stockfish was recommending the queen back to a8. Apply a pin since the queen is doing nothing here. We move the knight. And here the engine is recommending a queen to c3. So the idea is after pawn to e4 and this exchange, we can simply attack the bishop again and continue developing the pieces. And our queen here is very well positioned, exercising lots of pressure on the queen side. So this was a more accurate move compared to the decisions that I took in the game. It seems here that my b6 idea is not the most aggressive one, or it's not an accurate move compared to what the engine is recommending. And here Stockfish is declaring the move a5 as the best move, as we can simply start pushing this passed pawn already and adding more pressure on the queen side. There is no need to have any delay in exercising this plan. So here we exchange the bishops, we move the queen to safety. Stockfish was recommending moving the queen to d5, which is to d6, I mean, which is more accurate. It will control more and more squares, and it can also assist the pawns later on throughout the game. Nevertheless, e7 is also an acceptable square. Here the best move was c8 in order to prepare the move c5, I believe, at some point. We had an exchange of pawns. We did the castle king side here. Seizing the square at b8 is a very good movement. And now here are all natural moves. We are just pushing the pawn, nothing special. We took the pawns, we are attacking the rook. We moved the king to safety. We did think of this one. Doubling the rook seems to be also a valid move. Another idea is what Stockfish is also saying, that just simplify the position and exchange the rocks. We simplified the position, and we here the best move was the queen, since we will be attacking the knight in two pieces, and this knight is pinned to the queen. It was a very powerful tactic. The queen has to go to e2, which is the best movement. Then we can simply capture the knight, and that will be the most accurate play in this position. I did not see this tactic. Instead, I prepared the knight. And then we had a checkmate in 6 here. The best sequence of moves were queen to e3, followed by queen to d2. And then we deliver the checkmate in 2 moves. He has to block with the knight. That's the only move. And this will be a much faster and more accurate play compared to actually, pushing the pawn and getting a second queen. But overall, it was a good match. It's still at level 4. Any player with basic board awareness, he should be able to win. We hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching.